Recap in minutes. Today we will be going through a drama, war, and action movie from 2011, called 5 Days of War. There will be spoilers ahead in this video, so chill out and enjoy. The movie begins in a desert in Iraq where two reporters, Thomas Anders and Miriam, are going to interview al-Safi, the leader of a terrorist outfit. They are going in a local car with their cameraman and an Iraqi driver. While they were speculating about al-Safi's motives in giving them that interview, the driver hears some gunshots outside. Suddenly the Shiite militants hit their car, and the driver struggles to move the car in reverse but gets shot too. Miriam was trying to lay behind but got killed too. Meanwhile, American Humvees appear in the middle of the road and they start shooting the attackers. Some of the troops come to the car and rescue the journalist and his cameraman. They call for a medevac for Miriam that explodes the terrorists' positions. When they confirm she is no longer alive, they wrap her body and let the chopper fly out from there. 1 year later, Thomas and his cameraman Sebastian land in Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia. They like the peaceful and joyous life of the city, while Sebastian reminds him that this is peace before the war. There is a possibility that there could be genocide in the region, as the Russians do not want to see this place go west. Now the Georgian president gets briefings about the escalating conflict between Georgian forces and Russian military forces in the breakaway region of South Ossetia. The secretary tells him that the separatists are firing from the Russian positions, and Russian fighter planes and tanks are moving towards the conflict zone. He dismisses them, saying that he does not want any response to these provocations yet. After that, Thomas and Sebastian meet their old journalist fellows. They discuss the country's fragile peace condition, and worry about the upcoming hostilities from the Russian side. When they say they are headed to Tskhinvali, they get worried, as that is the capital of the separatists. Dutchman offers his help, saying that he will give them a man from Variany to assist them on their way. Later on, they reach a village square near Variany at midnight and wait for the Dutchman's man to receive them. There was a wedding ceremony going on nearby, so they decided to join their party to kill time. As Sebastian has nothing to do, he picks up his camera and starts shooting their wedding. While they were enjoying their musical night and local culture, the Georgian president comes live on the TV. They face an unexpected turn when he breaks the news about the escalating conflict between Georgian forces and Russian military forces in the breakaway region of South Ossetia. After a while, their guide arrives there and he tells them that the troops are on the move and roads are being closed. Suddenly, they see some Sukhois flying near the village. Thomas runs to alert everyone of the possible attack on their wedding. And in no time, they attack their marquee and blow up their decorated building. This attack kills most of the guests while injuring many. They took some of their wounded to take them to the hospital. The Georgian military shows them the way to Gori Military Hospital. Thomas reports that this is the only hospital in the area where wounded soldiers and civilians are being treated who were injured in last night's shelling. Later at night, Tadia and Thomas talk about their families. Tadia tells him that she studied political science in the United States and had strained relations with her father. Thomas tells her that he has nothing to tell her, as he has no family. Meanwhile, Sebastian comes back to them and tells them that they will meet Captain Rezo Avellini in the morning when his convoy will pass there. They will ride with them to reach Variany. In the morning, they came to a bridge where the captain was standing with his convoy. Sebastian introduces him to Thomas and Tadia. Captain Rezo takes Thomas in his Humvee for his reporting. He informs him that they have intelligence reports that not only Russians are coming, but the volunteer militia and mercenaries too to help the Russians cleanse the villages. He says if they see men with white armbands and black masks, don't take pictures, just run from there. While back in their car, Sebastian tells Tadia that Thomas cares about her and her family. He had a hard time relating to people around him. He has gone through very bad circumstances. Rezo drops them in a village, saying that they cannot take them anymore on that road. After a while, Tadia finds her father and her sister in a remote shelter house in the village. They all meet her with emotions while Sebastian keeps capturing the moments. Suddenly an elderly man enters running and yells that jets are coming. They come outside to see if they are Georgians, but they are Russians and attack different locations in the village. They run back for shelter in the house. While hiding in the cellar, Tadia tells them that the Russian Air Force is bombing airfields all across the country. Thomas also informs them that the volunteer militia is also coming with the Russian army, so beware of them. Thomas wakes up in the morning, goes out in the fields of the village, and enjoys the calmness and beauty of it. Some moments passed, and he saw those white armband militiamen along with the Russian tanks and choppers. He runs back, wakes up the others, and they come out in the street to hide in some other place. Sebastian starts recording the events as the militia threatens the locals to empty the places. Tadia takes them to the bridge, but they divert when they see their tanks and militia. Now they have to hide for a while and see what the militia does to the locals. They see them killing an older woman, slaughtering the police chief and mayor of the town, and burning their dead bodies. The militia leader orders his men to kill them all. They run for their lives, but a chopper opens fire at them. They experience the chaos of battle, the resilience of the Georgian soldiers, and the civilian casualties. Sebastian keeps filming while they kill their men, abduct their girls, and chopper bombing the villagers and their houses. After some time, Thomas, Sebastian, and Tatia's family find a greenhouse shelter in a nursery. They take refuge for some time to evade capture, but the militiamen come there. They hear the voice of the crying baby and threaten them to come out. Thomas comes out yelling that they are the press, but gets hit when he tries to save Tatia from them. Their leader, Daniil, throws his press card away and takes them to Colonel Demidov in a building in the village. He asks them what they are doing in that village. Sebastian tells him that they were filming the wedding of Sophie in the neighboring village. He says he knows that they are the war reporters, and shows the screen to them. Now he checks their camera, finds the wedding video, and orders his men to prison them. Thomas asks him where the original card is. Sebastian says it's in the ground where you fell after that guy hit him. He buried it when he came to help him and swapped the cards in the orchard. The next moment, they take Sebastian and Thomas out of there. They tie Sebastian to the chair while the colonel interrogates Thomas in his room. While in the other room, Daniil tells Sebastian that the Russians pay them well for the special jobs, and they also catch deserters sometimes. Now he draws his weapons to torture him and asks where is the real memory card. While they were arguing, Captain Rezo attacks this place with his commandos. Thomas tells him to take Sebastian and the girls out of the jail too. They kill the militants to reach the basement. After liberating them from jail, they plan to get back to the vehicles. They engage in intense gun firing while coming out of the building. They steal their car and race out from there. Now they have multiple militia vehicles and a tank on their tail. Thomas finds a moment and jumps out of the car to get the memory card. The militia blows up one of Captain Rezo's cars. Thomas finds the card and runs back to the truck. While crossing their building, Daniil kills Sophie when she tries to call her father. A moment of sorrow for Tatia, but they have no time to stop. In the next scene, the villagers are migrating from their destroyed homes. Captain Rezo has taken them far from the village, while moving through the forest and the drains, and they get terrified of the dead bodies in it. The next morning, they come out of the forest to move to the capital. They join the Georgian people, who were also migrating to some other location. Captain Rezo sees some soldiers returning from the front. He stops one of them and asks him why he is abandoning his post. He replies to him they are to fall back to defend the capital by order of the president. He scolds him saying that the city is going to fall, but he refuses to go back. Now Rezo decides to go back to the city and defend it. Thomas and the group also come with him to the city. They see Russian airstrikes on the city, blowing up the civil van on the bridge and dead bodies everywhere. Rezo asks him where the broadcast center is. Tatia tells him the directions and they run towards that. Captain Rezo leaves them there while moving to defend the building. Sebastian has the plan to broadcast the footage of the cruelties of the Russian-backed militia. Thomas calls his producer in the US and tells her to upload their footage. He says they witnessed killings, executions in the village. He says they are in the media center building with the satellite upload capability. And they need a network to accept the feed. When she refuses, they come out and see the chopper bombing the nearby buildings. They walk through the ruins to get out of the city. They meet Dutchmen escaping the bombing too. Thomas tells him that they need a SAT upload vehicle to upload the data. Now they make a detour to go to the church. Captain Rezo and his men try to hold the Russian tanks with their mortars, while Zoe joins them in the process. Thomas reaches the church and writes Dutchman's number on one of the villagers' phones. And tells her that he will call her after the upload is done. After a while, they reach Stilton's SAT car, and they align the dish to upload the data. Rezo and his men engage the Russian military, but suddenly a chopper appears and aims at their car. Thomas, Sebastian, and their colleagues are caught in the midst of a fierce battle. The chopper explodes their car while targeting them later. Rezo targets the helicopter while Dutchman and Stilton are dead. Thomas runs to save Sebastian, who is lying wounded in the ruins. He gives him the card asking him to run back to the church and hide it until it is safe to upload. He runs back to the church where the same girl shows him the photo of Tatia, who has been taken hostage by Daniil. He calls him from her phone, and Daniil asks him to come to Stalin Square with the memory card. After a while, he goes to Daniil, frees Tatia, and takes the card to him. When he plays the footage, the data is empty. Thomas says he has given the card to the little girl, who has taken that to a human rights group. When Daniil gets ready to shoot him, one of his militiamen, a young boy, kills him on the spot. Thomas runs back to Tatia and together they go to Captain Rezo to be rescued from the area. Meanwhile, Colonel Demidov arrives there with his army, gunners, tanks, and choppers. The bishop requests Captain Rezo not to resist, as there is nowhere to run. When the colonel sees Thomas, he stops and asks them to get away from there, done with the killings. It was unexpected for all of them. The Georgian president comes out of his palace and addresses his nation. He thanks the Georgians for their resilience, and European leaders for their cooperation in times of crisis. The movie ends while Thomas visits Sebastian in the hospital, and broadcasts the news to the world. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe Recap in Minutes for more videos like this, and help the channel grow.